Good morning, everybody in Guitar Land. This is Kevin again. The last video I put out was just a real quick blues lick. Alright, and there's a couple little techniques in there we kind of need to go over. Bending is really, really important. We're going to talk about that today. Bending is one of the things that's unique about guitar, and you can't bend a string on a piano. There's a lot of instruments you can't do it. So when we do it on guitar, it's really cool. Take advantage of it. It's a different kind of sound. So I'm going to basically take this article in a book. My favorite guitar player, Guthrie Govan. Check him out on YouTube. He's great. He put out a book. It's all technique stuff. It's all just different ways of playing the guitar. And I think it's really, really useful, and I always read parts of it to my students when I talk about bending. So I basically summarized it, and here we go. Bending is one of the major selling points of the guitar, like I was saying, right? Can't do it on a lot of instruments. One other thing, it facilitates vibrato. Vibrato is a rhythmic fluctuation in pitch. Makes the note sound kind of wobbly. All right? And there's different kinds of vibrato. There's the rock blues, I call it. Type of vibrato where you bend, and there's the classical, which is more side to side, which that's not my strong suit. I do it every now and then, but anyway, one of the main things you want to do is not let go of the strings. Anybody can tell that that's a mistake, so be careful with that. When you let go of the string, we kind of want to have this first finger out touching the side of the string to mute it. It's kind of real important, especially when you're going to another note. We're just bending. It's not a big deal, but when that kind of stuff, we need to mute the string that we just did. Anyway, it's pretty hard to just bend with one finger like that and using your finger strength. That's not how we do it. We're going to enlist the help of your other fingers. I always start with the ring finger to bend because you can get two other fingers behind it. And this is one of the stronger fingers, the pinky. You would think, well, I can get more fingers behind it, right? But it creates a weird angle, and the pinky is one of the weaker fingers. So let's start with the ring finger. I'm going 7th fret of the 3rd string here. That's a D note, okay? And I'm bending from D to E, basically 2 frets. All right, that's a whole step bend. You can also do half step bend, which is just 1 fret. Those are kind of hard, actually. You might think they're a little easier, but they're kind of tricky. So, another thing, we always talk when we talk about playing single notes or doing exercises like the spider exercise. We want to have the thumb in the back of the neck flat and the fingers curled over and all that good stuff, posture, all that good stuff. Well, we kind of throw that out the window here just for a second. Okay, we're going to kind of curl the fingers in a little bit. They're not so much straight, they're kind of in a little bit. This part, the forefinger here, is touching the side of the neck usually, and the thumb's going to come up over the top, almost like a little baseball bat grip. And what you do is, once you feel, you start pushing with your fingers, once you feel the tension of the string pushing back at you, you're going to kind of let your wrist, lock your fingers into place and let your wrist take over. So it's kind of this motion right here with locked fingers. Try that a little bit to get used to it. Okay, once you feel that resistance, let the wrist take over. And you can kind of turn your wrist a little bit, lift the elbow a little bit. Don't want to look like a chicken or anything, but one thing you don't want to do is take the guitar with you. Try to leave it there. Really hold it with your right arm, okay? So, baseball bat grip, right? Kind of lock that knuckle on the fretboard over here of the thumb. I kind of do that. Everybody's hands in guitar are different. Find what works for you. On the high strings, the top 3 strings, we're going to bend them upward. And then on the bottom 3 strings, we're going to bend them downward. That one's a little different because you can't quite get on the side of the string, the treble side here. You got to get on the bass side, almost more flat on top, and really pull over. Those are a little bit harder to mute too. So we're just going to start with the upward. All right. When we bend, we don't bend just to bend, right? We're just... Right? We're trying to reach certain notes usually. So, like I said, I'm bending D to E. I play it a couple times to get the reference note in my head, and then try to really reach that note perfectly. Okay, that's one of the exercises we're going to talk about. The other thing, it's kind of a silly exercise, and I really like doing it just because it's silly. But playing a familiar melody, something like Mary Had a Little Lamb or Happy Birthday or whatever. Just something really simple, but doing it all with bends from 2 frets below the notes. So I'm just looking at E, D, C, D, E, 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 D, 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 E, G, G, right? Just on one string. Alright, but instead of starting here, I'm going to start here and bend to that note. So this is kind of silly sounding, but it's good practice. Oops. So it's kind of tricky, but try that out a little bit. Maybe just try the first 3 notes or something. You can also do it with half steps too. It sounds a little weirder. Okay, so there's a couple things you can do with that. Try to work on this stuff a lot. If you don't have good calluses on your fingers, this will help build them big time. But look, you don't have to do this for an hour. It's going to hurt your fingers if you do that. So work on it, 15, 20 minutes a day, or maybe 5 or 10. Try to make it part of your regular practice routine. And with that being said, y'all have a good day and practice, practice, practice. Bye.